guys, it's me, and we are going to mask up with the Pharmacy Honey Potion. It's actually like a little wash off mask. That's cool. And we are going to get into chapter 8 of Genesis. So hang out. We'll be right back. Okay, I went ahead and applied the mask. I actually, read the directions. Because when I was doing it before, evidently I was doing it wrong. You're supposed to, make circular mode until the mask actually turns kind of all white, creamy sort of a thing going on. Did that. And, you just wear it for a short amount of time, and then, you can rub it in a little bit more, and then just wipe it off. So, we're good with that. It's not a mask. Let me see. It's detoxifying, which, y'all have seen my face. Detoxifying is good. But it's also very moisturizing. Again, besides being, old and just having dry skin anyways, I take allergy pills on the daily. And the whole point of allergy pills is to dry out your sinuses so that, you don't have like the whole runny nose and runny eyes and all that going on. But, pills don't have a stop on them. They dry out everything. So, if you're taking allergy pills on a daily basis, chances are you have really dry skin because they, suck the hydration out of everything. So, got to really pay attention to hydrating that skin. Anyways, let's get into the Bible, for which I need glasses. Hello! I have a light on over here, but it's not like I'm putting on makeup, so there's that. Okay, so back in chapter 7, I had a question. 2 and 3. Oh, I dropped my bookmark. It says, of every clean beast thou shalt take thee by sevens, the male and his female, and of beasts that are not clean by 2, the male and his female, of the fowls of the air by sevens, the male and the female, to keep seed alive upon the face of all the earth. Okay, so I was confused about the whole 7. Like, I thought that the animals went on 2 by 2. Well, what is the 7 thing? Okay, well, they might have loaded on 2 by 2, but they were chosen in 7s and 2s. And I had how do you do 7? This makes no sense to me. But a commenter, Christine, she's studied religions, and she made a comment and said, to her understanding, they didn't choose 7 animals or 2 animals. They chose 7 pairs, male and female. 2 pair of animals, male and female. So, let's just figure, let's just figure that a goat is probably not clean because they have the cloven hoof and horns. And I don't know, I just feel like a goat would probably be considered as not clean. Okay. Of beasts that are not clean by 2. So, you wouldn't just have one male and one female. You would have 2 pairs. The male and his female. So, now actually with goats, you would only need 1 male. 3 females would do perfect. But I guess for genetic diversity, you know, and we're talking about God here who can do anything, you know, 2 males and 2 females, it's 2 pairs. And then for of every clean beast thou shalt take thee by 7s. I'm figuring a clean beast would be like maybe a horse, because, you know, they use horses a lot for a lot of stuff. You know, horses pulled wagons and carried, you know, burdens and carried people, and, you know, horses, donkeys, equine. Okay, let's just say equine. So, if every beast clean, thou shalt take to thee by 7s. Okay, so you don't have 7 horses. You have 7 pairs of horses. So that would be 14 horses. That totally made way more sense. So now we've got that cleared up. Yeah. I was thoroughly confused. Thoroughly confused. So now that we have, and this is the King James. Let's go on to chapter 8. Okay. And God remembered Noah and every living thing and all the cattle that was with him in the ark. God made a wind to pass over the earth, and the waters assuaged. Okay, I'm thinking that means flood, basically, you know, bad stuff. Okay, the fountains also of the deep and the windows of heaven were stopped. The fountains of the deep and the windows of heaven were stopped, and the rain from heaven was restrained. And the waters returned from off the earth continually. And after the end of 150 days, the waters were abated. Okay, so we had 150 days of, you know, basically God went, oh yeah, he remembered Noah. Hey, you know, got my ark floating around over here. So, so he turned off all of the water after 40 days and 40 nights. And after the end of 150 days, the waters were abated. Okay, so made a wind to pass over the earth, and the waters assuaged. Waters were abated. Okay, so I'm thinking that means abated sounds like a familiar word, like I should know what that means. But the waters were abated. I'm thinking that means that probably little pieces of earth started sticking up out of the water. I'm not sure. And the ark rested in the 7th month, upon the 17th day of the month, upon the mountains of Ararat. And the waters decreased continually until the 10th month. Okay, so the ark rested on the 7th month. So for 3 more months, the waters decreased. In the 10th month, on the 1st day of the month, the tops of the mountains were seen. And it came to pass at the end of 40 days that Noah opened the window of the ark which he had made. This kind of feels like it jumps around a little bit, like 40 days and 40 nights it rained. At the end of 40 days, Noah opened the window of the ark. And then it's like you go back. The ark rested in the 7th month upon the mountains of Ararat. But that hasn't happened yet at 40 days. Okay, so he sent forth a raven. I thought it was a dove. Okay, maybe I'm not done, so, maybe I'm making assumptions here. All right, so Noah sent forth a raven, which went forth to and fro until the waters were dried up from off the earth. Okay. He sent forth a raven, which went to and fro. So it basically, he sent forth the raven, it flew around, it went here, it went there, it said like, hey, I don't see no land, I'm getting tired, I need to land someplace, so he came back to the boat, right? Also, he sent forth a dove from him. Okay, yeah, my bad for making assumptions. I just didn't know about the raven. Also, he sent forth a dove from him to see if the waters were abated from off the face of the ground. But the dove found no rest for the sole of her foot, and she returned unto him, unto the ark, for the waters were on the face of the whole earth. Then he put forth his hand and took her, and pulled her unto him into the ark. And he stayed yet another 7 days. Okay, so it's not like he did this every day. And that makes sense because, if this little dove is flying until she just can't fly no more, looking for, someplace other than the ark. And, then it would take a while to, like, rest up before you did that again, right? Okay, so he stayed yet another 7 days. And again he sent forth the dove out of the ark. And the dove came to him in the evening, and lo, in her mouth was an olive leaf plucked off. So Noah knew that the waters were abated from off the earth. So, like, if she found that olive branch, or olive leaf, well, not a branch, a leaf. Okay, so yeah, the whole olive branch, no, it was a leaf. But in order to find an olive leaf, even if it was just floating on the water, if it was, after that amount of time, it would have, been saturated and sank, become into the water. But he knew there had to be some land somewhere. And it had to be within reach of her flying, how far could she fly? So, but he knew that there had to be, the water was going down somewhere. And he stayed yet another 7 days, and he sent forth the dove, which returned not again to him any more. So the first time she returned, she found a leaf. And, she was like, oh, look, something green, or, who knows if it was green. It doesn't say it was green. It just says it was an olive leaf. But, she found something. And, she was like, oh, I can't really eat while you're flying. But it had to have come from somewhere. So she may have picked it up off the water and still couldn't actually land. But, came back to the boat, therefore to consume the leaf, which obviously she, may or may not have done. So he kept her for another 7 days. And on the 7th day, he sent forth the dove, which returned not again unto him anymore. She found someplace to go. There's land somewhere. The bird did not come back. So either something happened to her, which probably not. The storm is over. It's not raining. The weather's good. What could have you know, she could have tired out and fallen in the water and drowned, I guess. But, you know, you've also got God guiding the dove. So, you know, when she didn't return anymore, especially after she had come back with that leaf before, it was like, yeah, okay. And it came to pass in the 601st year, in the first month and the first day of the month, the waters were dried. The waters were dried up from off the earth, and Noah removed the covering of the ark and looked, and behold, the face of the ground was dry. I don't understand that. And it came to pass in the 601st year. Okay, so what are we counting from? Because way more than 600 years has gone by since Adam and Eve, the beginning of human time. In the 601st year, is this, I would have to go back and look, is this like Noah is, no. In the 601st year, in the first month and day, I don't know what that means. I do not understand. They were not floating around for 600 years. So I don't understand what that means. The waters were dried up from off the earth, and Noah removed the covering of the ark and looked, and behold, the face of the ground was dry. And in the second month, on the 7th and 20th day of the month, was the earth dried. So basically, once things started getting dry, it went pretty quick after that. God spoke unto Noah, saying, Go forth of the ark, thou, and thy wife, and thy sons wives with thee. Bring forth with thee every living thing that is with thee, of all flesh, both of fowl and of cattle, and of every creeping thing that creeps upon the earth. Cattle must have been seriously important, because they mentioned cattle by name a lot in this first few chapters anyways. Okay, bring forth with thee every living thing that is with thee, of every creeping thing that creeps upon the earth, that they may breed abundantly in the earth, and be fruitful and multiply upon the earth. Okay, so I'm wondering, this be fruitful and multiply upon the earth. Okay, we have like, what, 4 guys and their 4 wives and the animals on the entire earth. So yeah, if you're going to replenish the earth, you're going to have to be fruitful and multiply. But you know, there's a time to like stop the math, you know, like don't, he doesn't say, you know, over, make so many, multiply so much that you are beyond the resources that the earth can, you know, habitat you any longer. But Noah went forth, and his sons and his wife and his sons' wives with him, every beast, every creeping thing, every fowl, and whatsoever creeps upon the earth after their kind, went forth out of the ark. Noah built an altar unto the Lord, and took every clean beast of every clean fowl, and burnt offerings on the altar. And took of every clean beast, and of every clean fowl, and burnt offerings on the altar. Okay, so I know that they did use sheep a lot for offerings. So maybe the cloven hoof is the clean animal, and I'm, you know, completely, or maybe it has to do with like predators and prey animals are clean and predators are not, which would make total sense, because if you're a meat eater, which I am carnivorous. The reason we eat prey animals is because they taste good and they have a lot of nutrition. Animals such as dog, cat, wild animals that are prey animals. No, prey animals. The hunters, you know what I'm saying, carnivorous. The meat eaters, their meat does not taste the same. It's sinewy instead of with fat running through it. It's got it's very sinewy and tough. So it would kind of like almost make sense that instead of talking about hooves and horns, we're talking about carnivorous and, you know, prey animals and the animals that prey upon prey animals. But I'm not sure, and I'm sure it explains it in here somewhere. Okay, Noah built built an altar. The Lord smelled a sweet savor, and the Lord said in his heart, I will not again curse the ground any more for man's sake, for the imagination of man's heart is evil from his youth. Neither again will I smite any more. Neither will I again smite any more every living thing as I have done. That's interesting. While the earth remains, seed time and harvest, cold and heat, summer and winter, and day and night shall not cease. While the earth remains. Whoa. While the earth remains. So that right there is kind of suggesting that, you know, while the earth remains, seed time and harvest, cold and heat, summer and winter, day and night shall not cease. Okay, so kind of says there's going to be time that the earth does not remain. But right before that, he says that the Lord, I will not again curse the ground anymore for man's sake. It doesn't say I won't flood it, or, you know, it says I'm not going to curse the land. For the imagination of man's heart is evil from his youth. Neither will I again smite any more living thing as I have done. So God's kind of saying like he's not going to. Let me look at that again. I know we're way too many minutes now, but let's check it out one more time. Okay. While the earth remains. But that's on like the next paragraph or verse. So it could be, while the earth remains, I'm not going to destroy my animals and the earth as long as the earth remains. I'm not going to do that again. But one day, the earth will no longer remain. Kind of makes you, leads you to that thought, right? So, any comments, clues, questions, discussion, please comment below. We are way too long. We're at like definite half an hour going on here. Woo! So we need to just. So this is it's a worming mask also. So the more you rub it around, and you don't have to put a cover on this. You can just, you know, do this. But when you're doing a video, Okay, sticky. So we're going to just warm it up again a little bit. To me, that warming means that it's drawing blood flow, which the blood flow would be carrying nutrients to your skin and helping to do the, the antitoxin thing. So, Pharmacy, excellent brand. I highly recommend to anyone. Until the next time, I hope you wake up dancing, boom, 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 wake up dancing every single day. Bye-bye.